as you know, the Trump administration has been refusing to hold press briefings on camera, and other times refusing to hold press briefings that reporters can record. This is probably an attempt to make sure that a lot of it doesn't make news on TV, right? I mean, we understand that dynamic here. If we play something that is too visual, our listeners say, hey, wait a second, I can't tell what's going on. So you want to have, for the most part, a medium that fits, or a piece of media that fits your medium. And I think the White House understands that, and they realize like it's better for them if they don't have that much television coverage. But here is a reporter who is in the briefing room. It is Montgomery County Sentinel executive editor Brian Karam. So he's a local news reporter.
And apparently had the job for quite some time.
Since Reagan.
And so he's been there for a long time.
Well, Montgomery County's right adjacent to D.C.
Right.
So it's not like small time, I bet.
So he's probably, they probably get a decent amount of like a Washington insiders reading that bill. So here he is challenging Sarah Huckabee Sanders on, just all of it.
News outlets get to go on day after day and cite unnamed sources, use stories without sources, have, you mentioned the Scaramucci story where they had to have reporters resign.
Come on, you're inflaming everybody right here and right now with those words. This administration has done that as well. Why in the name of heavens? Any one of us, right, are replaceable, and any one of us, if we don't get it right, the audience has the opportunity to turn the channel or not read us. You have been elected to serve for 4 years at least. There's no option other than that. We're here to ask you questions.
Right.
We're here to provide the answers. And what you just did is inflammatory to people all over the country who look at it and say, see, once again, the president is right and everybody else out here is fake media. And everybody in this room is only trying to do their job.
Well, I disagree completely. First of all, I think if anything has been inflamed, it's the dishonesty that often takes place by the news media.
Pause it. How do you inflame dishonesty you've taken your dishonesty perpetrated by the news media, you've inflamed it.
Not a fan of figurative language in the Huckabee household.
I wish you'd follow that up by saying you should treat that with prednisone. It's a good sign to a certain extent that the press is willing to risk their access. Not all of them will do that. But, we're only 6 months in. And at one point, the press has to start saying, like, okay, guess what we're going to do? We're not going to play by your rules. And you can throw us out, but once it's basically the stakes are less for the press once the amount of access, broadly speaking, is being limited anyways. They're not going to use non-television stuff. And really what should happen is the major press should get together and basically just say, look, people can freelance and do what they want. When they say no cameras, this week it'll be NBC. Next week it'll be CBS. The week after it'll be ABC. Anybody gets kicked out, we put all our footage into a pool. And you'll have access to it as quickly as we do. That's what's ultimately going to happen. Because frankly, you don't need 25 different camera angles anyways of what Sarah Huckabee Sanders or Sean Spicer is saying. And it'd be nice to have your reporter in there ask questions, but if it gets to that point where your reporter gets kicked out, then they agree. We'll rotate through. Everybody will get a chance to ask a question through our one reporter. That's ultimately what has to happen, because otherwise it's just going to get worse in terms of this coverage. I don't know what the value of it is anyways necessarily. And maybe what it will do is provide for some innovation on behalf of the press, right? You no longer have the White House press briefing to fill your content bucket. Now go out and do something else. Go do more investigative reporting. Go find a story from some cabinet person, something like that. So, but at the very least, the press should be coordinating with each other.
Jim Acosta went rogue last week and took a selfie and a picture of his socks during a presser.
Are you not supposed to take a picture of your socks?
They need
you
to
can't,
really up
You're
it.
not supposed to like bring your phone in.
They need to just film it, and if they throw them out, let that
Yeah.
crisis happen.
Right.
Right. The problem is you only get one of those. Like that's a one-off YouTube hit.
But if they completely like decide we're gonna not do press briefings because the reporters insist on recording it, I mean, I think that's not a bad fight to have if you're the media.
I agree. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos